What is going on, you guys? So today I'm going to be showing you how to get unlimited amounts of weapon XP in Warzone 2. Now this only works for Warzone 2. I've attempted to try it in DMZ and you don't get as much XP as compared to Warzone. So in order for you to do this method, all you have to do is pretty much buy armor plates off the buy station, and you can buy unlimited amounts of armored plates. If you have I noticed from my personal experience, about 4k of cash worth of armor plates gets me about 2 levels, and about 15k to 10k gets me about 5-6 levels, and that's without a double XP token. Now I'm going to show you two different methods. One is going to be the quickest way possible to get a lot of cash within like the first 2 minutes of starting a match, and the second one's going to be pretty much the safer route. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, is that you have to have the weapon equipped and in your hands when you buy those armor plates. So for the first method, it's going to be a high risk, high reward. You're going to have to drop into Al Mazrah, and there's going to be a marketplace right next to High Rise. For those of you guys that don't know where High Rise is, I'm going to show you on the map. It's going to be right on the side of it. Inside this building, there's going to be 11 cash registers total. You want to try to be the first person to loot the entire building, just because since you're the first person who loots it, you're the one that's going to get the full pull. If someone else manages to loot it first and you end up killing them, you're only going to get a portion of it. What's going to happen is that player's going to keep a certain percentage of it, and the rest is going to be lootable, but it's not going to be the full 100%. So for my personal experience, when I loot all the cash registers, all 11 of them by myself, I end up getting about 10k guaranteed, and there have been times where I've gotten over 15k, 18k, and sometimes even 20k. You are able to find money on top of the shelves as well, so it's not just from the cash registers where you get money. The only downside about this method is there are plenty of people that already know about this area, and there's going to be people who are going to try to contest you. There's going to be people who try to basically camp you, so as soon as they see you leave the building, they're going to get a jump on you. They're going to try to camp in a corner, so you got to be aware of that as well, and you're going to get third partied most likely. Alright guys, for the second method, it's going to be more of a safer route. Now in order for you to do the second method, all you want to do is basically run contracts. The contracts you want to go for are basically the safecracker and the intel contracts. For my personal experience, the safecracker ones were the more enjoyable one, and they're the more easier ones to find. And it's just the safecracker ones are nice too, because every time you blow up a safe, you basically get money out of it. It just increases your possibilities to buy more plates. So that's one of the reasons why I would recommend that, and I would highly recommend that you drop basically on the opposite side of where your plane's going. You basically want to go in areas on the outskirts, just because you're not going to really run into that many players. There is a possibility that there are still going to be players doing the same type of strategy, so you got to keep that in mind. So that is one of the most safest methods to run, and you're basically going to have a higher chance of actually pulling off that method. The only downside about it is that it's less time efficient. The first method that I mentioned, that's probably the most time efficient one, and the one where you get the most amount of XP. The only downside about that is that it's a very high risk. Like I mentioned before earlier, you're going to run into a lot of players. Players are going to try to do the same method, whether it's because they're trying to get cash to buy their loadout weapon, or if it's because they're trying to get cash to buy armor plates. There are two different groups of players that are doing this method. So you're going to run into a lot of people. You're going to run into a lot of people who are camping. You're going to run into a lot of people who are sound whoring and sitting in corners, crouch walking the entire time for the next 5 minutes, waiting until you pass by. But if you are able to manage it and pull it off, you can get a lot of XP. I was able to, in one game, unfortunately I wasn't recording it, but I was able to get about 6 levels in about 3 minutes from as soon as I dropped into the match. So again, it is a very high risk, high reward type of situation for that first method. But if you are truly trying to maximize the amount of XP you get per minute, that first method is probably going to be your go-to option.
Contract complete. All safes have been secured.
You got debated. You got debated. You got debated. Debated. Debated.